One minute, they're both looking out of the front door together, kind of watching the world go by, and then the next minute, Blossom may grab a toy, and Minnow thinks it's her toy, and so Minnow takes that toy. They can just kind of go back and forth with each other. It's kind of like they have a fun sibling rivalry at times. They always kind of make up with each other. They're two peas in a pod. She came to the shelter. I set her up in my office, and she was kind of terrified. She had no idea what was going on, so I brought her home, and at that moment, Blossom was immediately confident. Minnow led her over to her dog bed, and Blossom hopped on and just started, like, getting comfortable, and she just seemed perfectly happy. It was like she knew she was home. At that point, Blossom really had a lot of comfort from Minnow. She was her safe person. Blossom would follow Minnow around, snuggle up to her, and they just kind of became best of buddies. I thought, oh, she needs to be a turkey, and she needs to be on a farm, and she needs to be with other turkey friends. She got really sad and depressed and just stood in one place, so she was there for all of 3 days. She just wanted to be at home, so I wound up bringing her back here. And then she jumped up on the couch and settled down, started watching TV with my dog and I, and share some pumpkin pie with us. So it was like, thank you, I'm home, that's all I need. We get up and hang out in the backyard. They like to poke around, and Blossom will look for bugs. Both of them like to eat grass. They both really love to go hiking. Being outside for both of them is their comfort. And then come home, snuggle on the couch together. Blossom, she's all about food.
I know, Minnow. She's stealing the burrito. It's okay, Minnow.
Minnow just is kind of like waiting for her to come back and be her playmate.
You decided to move in on Blossom's nest. Yeah. You thinking of moving in? What do you think, Blossom?
Minnow and I were definitely family before Blossom came, but there was just this missing piece. Blossom was that. Having both of them has just taught me that love is universal.
I thought maybe she was sick or the wings got flipped or something, but she would like fly in my bedroom and she'd fly around. So she could fly, you know. She just decided to stick around. I just felt comfortable with her, like I knew she was here. You're here, I'm here. So, you know, we got something cool out here. So I'm going down the stairs and I see at the bottom of the staircase, there's a butterfly there. There's a butterfly that's flying around. It's trapped inside, you know, because the door's closed. So I pick her up, I place her on my shoulder, and I couldn't really feel her. She doesn't weigh anything, but I felt that really special connection, that bond. I go outside, and I start biking. I figured I'd give her a little push start. Figured she could like fly away. But no, man, she stayed on me like the entire ride from Brooklyn, bedside, all the way to Manhattan. And she stayed on me with the wind and everything. She didn't fly away, she didn't fall or anything. She just stuck right there. It was crazy. So then I get to Manhattan, she's still on me. And I'm like, wow, this is pretty crazy. So I'm playing around with her, she's on my finger. And then I had to go to class. So I just bring all this classes. I have her literally on my notebook, on my taking notes. So then after that, I just kept her and we literally went everywhere together. After a couple days, I told the security, I knew she wasn't going to leave me.
Nobody actually notices that I have a butterfly on my shoulder.
That was pushing me. How hard? I'm just going to on me. How many things I could do. Put her on my towels right by the pool. She was just watching. offer her the most comfortable life I could give her. I even made her a little home at my place. I would place her there, and then she would fly to my pillow. And I slept with her there. She wouldn't look at me, we wouldn't acknowledge each other. I could see her looking at me, and then with a blank stare, you know, just like looking around. I felt like there was definitely a connection there. When I heard my roommate on the phone, I was like, no, dude, they only lived like 2 weeks, and she stayed with me for 5 days, so that was a pretty good chunk of her lifespan, I'd say. Those were some very special 5 days. It felt a lot longer.
I held the fish in front of his shell and he grabbed it from my hand. He touched my finger with his tentacle, and I think that we were both a bit surprised. So we both pulled back. Now the day after, I held the fish close to his shell again. This time he grabbed my finger and he tried to pull my finger inside. Now of course he's only a little octopus, but I was really surprised by his strength. I was kind of curious if he would learn and how he would learn to do stuff, and I was wondering if he could learn to open a jar. So I started pulling the fish in a jar. Egbert jumped out of his shell and he went onto the jar and he pulled the lid off. I put this little piece of fish in front of the shell. He took the fish and he stuffed it underneath his tentacles. So when he had this fish underneath his tentacles, he didn't fit into his shell anymore. Egbert was sitting on top of the shell with the fish, and the damselfish were trying to take it. He was punching the fish away with his tentacles. It's the funniest thing I've ever seen, this octopus trying to punch away little fish. We were actually laughing in our snorkels while watching him, but this was definitely the coolest encounter that we ever had with an octopus. So I decided to call him Egbert. There were loads of people snorkeling and swimming, so the first few days he got a little bit more shy and he didn't come out as much. Now after about a week, I went to look for him and his whole conch shell and Egbert were gone. I had a nightmare about Egbert with loads of people swimming on top of him and loads of fish, and I was really scared that people would have picked him up and that he would have been chased away. So I swam around for a bit, and in a few days I found him out of reach of the swimmers and the kayaks going over. I was really happy though that he was still around and that I found him again. At some point I gave him a piece of fish, and he got so annoyed with all the damselfish trying to take it from him that he kind of walked out over the seafloor away from his shell. He spit out the fish and he swam back to his shell. There was a tree trunk on the bottom, and I swam down and I laid in front of the trunk, and he swam up to me. He grabbed my hand and he tried to pull my hand towards the trunk. He let go and he swam back. So I moved a little bit closer to the trunk. Then when he came around to the trunk again, he seemed to be pushing the trunk up. So I don't know what he was thinking. I just thought, oh, I help him push a little bit. So with my finger, I pushed against the trunk. He grabbed my finger and he places my finger on the trunk. And when I push, he swims up to me and he swims back to the trunk and he grabs 2 shells from underneath the trunk. Basically, I was helping him hunt, but I didn't realize I was doing it. You can see that he's kind of clinching all this fish and all these crabs and shells underneath, and he's kind of hobbling around the sea bottom. There were like 4 or 5 octopus around at the time. I just took some small pieces of fish, and it was way too much for him. I just wanted to give him one little piece. But I put the jar there. And actually, he swam up to the jar, he opened it up and he went inside. And he took all the fish out and he just took it all. And I was like, oh, I guess there's nothing left for all the others. I tried to see how he responds to different objects, like a conch shell or a mirror, and even my hair. But he never really responds the way that I expect. For example, he was not interested at all in the conch shell that I gave him, but he kept going up to my hand and he kept feeling my little elastic bands around my my wrist. I went on holiday and I didn't see him the few days before. I was worried that he would not be there anymore when I came back. But when I came back, I found him. He swam up to me and he touched me.
It's a beautiful thing to be able to witness the four of them together. The two together just have this magical relationship. They are a dynamic duo. They just, it's sort of like Bree and her little sidekick. Joy will just sort of let Bree kind of do whatever she wants, and she just goes with the flow. She's very chill. She never runs when Bree is coming like most cats would with, a toddler coming at them. And Bree's actually under the couch right now. So let me just back up the coffee table.
Here's Joy. Breezy, come give Joy a hug.
Joy is incredibly outgoing and sweet and friendly.
First, do you want to watch? Yes, I do. Okay, come to the living room. The baby and all. I love my candies. They're the bestie.
Treasure is a little bit clumsy. Like he'll try to jump from surface to surface. Sometimes he'll slip a little bit. Slightly
Mommy,
less
don't
outgoing
Mommy.
than Joy. Oh, you got him? Okay, good. Kitty. He only drinks out of the sink. They kind of just incorporate them into any regular game that children play. If somebody is sick and they need the doctor, Joy will be the patient, and we call Bree Dr. Breezy, and she'll treat her, give her medicine, and make sure that she feels better. Joy and Treasure are so human-like that they just always want to be with us, and they're so affectionate, and they're all
really
open.
love them.
The main thing that's the most important is having kids be able to grow up with animals. I think it teaches them to have a love and caring attitude towards animals from a young age.
How old are they going to be when I'm in college?
Well, they will be 13.
What?